Long before there were pharmacies, there were healers. Mothers, fathers, and neighbors who turned to the earth for wellness. Welcome to the Reality of Herbal Therapy podcast with Jim Applegate. Each week we explore the plants, traditions, and time-honored remedies that connect us to that ancient wisdom, so you can bring it into your modern life.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Reality of Herbal Therapy podcast. So with Thanksgiving coming up this week, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about gratefulness or gratitude and how that applies to health. You know, people talk a lot about how it changes your emotional state, but it also changes our physical state. And so I kind of wanted to touch on that this week because it's coming up on Thanksgiving and stuff. So in this week's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what gratitude is and how it can help your not only emotional state, but immune, sleep, digestion. There's all sorts of things that having that gratitude can do for you. So let's talk a little bit about gratitude. Some people say that gratitude is positive thinking or some of the woo-woo type stuff. Gratitude really is a deliberate focus on something that uplifts you, that brings you up. So, and so you can have gratitude for certain things while also, having issues or other things going on. Gratitude just doesn't cover up or hide, the issues that you could be having in your life. For example, somebody who has some severe disease and they're basically fighting for their life, they can still have gratitude. I saw there's a really great song that I had heard by a woman who was suffering with some severe diseases, and basically it was going to take her life. And she did a song about gratitude and how and being grateful and how it uplifted her. Her name is Nightbird. Maybe I'll see if I can find the song and link it in the show notes. And gratitude isn't something that everybody's just born with. It's not something that is always there. Basically, gratitude is a skill. It's something that we have to develop and work on. So in this episode, we'll give you some pointers on some things that you can work on to develop that gratitude muscle, that skill for being more grateful. So when we're talking about health and well-being, even with herbs and natural healing, gratitude or your attitude, as Dr. James would say, has a lot to do with your healing. Dr. James found that a lot of the herbs actually work better when you have a better attitude about the herbs and how they're going to help you. And, it makes a big difference in all sorts of things like digestion, sleep, vitality, all sorts of really wonderful things. So gratitude is an amazing thing. So let's talk a little bit about the different parts of the body that gratitude affects. So the stress and nervous system, that one's, pretty obvious and a given. If you're feeling stressed about things, showing gratitude actually activates what they call the parasympathetic system, or the part of that where it's your rest, your digest, your relaxation. And the sympathetic is the fight or flight. So when you show gratitude or when you express gratitude, it turns on that rest and side of the nervous system. So it will help with stress that you have going on around you. Sometimes people that experience anxiety, when they're having like an anxiety attack, Nerquilizer helps. But just the fact of being grateful for something also will help to bring down the anxiety that they're feeling. It also helps when you're feeling overwhelmed. When you have a list a mile long of things that you have to do and get accomplished and get through and get done and everything, If you take a second, step back, express some gratitude, it will really help you cope with and deal with that overwhelm. So some studies have found that when you express gratitude, that it kicks in some of the feel-good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, the chemicals that help us sleep, stuff like that. So it's really, really amazing. So along those lines, gratitude helps with sleep. They've found that people that express gratitude before bed actually fall asleep faster. They sleep more deeply, have better sleep. They wake more rested. So there's, when people talk about gratitude journaling, a lot of people will do it at night, the last thing that they do, because it takes your focus away from everything that you had going on in the day and focuses it on the gratitude, the things that you're grateful for. And that can really help, like, especially for people that have like thought their mind just gets going at night and they're wide awake thinking about all sorts of things that they have no control over and they can't change. Basically, get up, journal 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for, and it will calm down that racing mind and help you fall asleep faster. So another one is the immune system. Gratitude actually helps with the immune system. So one of the opposites of gratitude is anger. People found when there's been studies when you are extremely angry, it actually shuts down your immune system for up to 24 hours. And so gratitude will reverse that. It basically reactivates the immune system. If you're driving down the road, somebody cuts you off and almost hits your car and you get all extremely angry and swear at them and yell and all this, that sort of thing. And it's not going to change anything. It's happened. It's over. But that anger will actually shut down your immune system for a period of time. So if you ever have that happen, think of something that you're grateful for. You're grateful for your car. You're grateful that they didn't hit you or for whatever thing like that. And it will reduce the amount of time that your immune system is shut down. Whenever our immune system shuts down, that's when people talk about inflammation. There's inflammation in different parts of the body. Basically, the body swells in certain places. It becomes inflamed to kind of try and protect the body. But too much of that, and you come up with all sorts of problems. The immune system starts to shut down and all sorts of the chronic immune issues if you're always in a state of anger or anxiety. So like if your immune system is shut down for whatever reason and you want to take action to like boost it, express gratitude. Whether it's just, I'm thankful Dr. James came up with affection, or, I'm thankful that I'm feeling well. I'm thankful that the sun is shining outside, or it's raining, or express gratitude for whatever you've got going on. And that will really boost the immune system and actually make the affection work better for you. They've also found that expressing gratitude helps with your heart. It helps the heart be healthier. It reduces your blood pressure. So then you have fewer heart issues. We talked a little bit about this in the last episode on the heart, how the heart, some of our emotions, our heart is because our heart is an electrical pump and it deals with electricity, and with the nervous system kind of being out of whack just from all of that emotional stuff, it can have an effect on the heart. So being grateful is really wonderful, like lower the blood pressure, better heart work, like the heart working and functioning properly. Another place that gratitude can be helpful is in digestion. Basically, that parasympathetic system, it helps with rest, but it also helps with digestion. So by expressing gratitude, you're activating that parasympathetic system and you're helping your body to digest food better, which, better digestion helps with being overweight, just dealing better with the food, helps prevent food rotting in your stomach. I mean, all sorts of really things that aren't very wonderful. And just being grateful can change how your body deals with all of that. Also, having gratitude helps with emotional resilience, like being able to emotionally cope with things over a long period of time. For, when somebody is sick for a long period of time, they come to a point, and because it's gone on for so long, their emotions shift, and it makes the being sick more difficult to cope with and to deal with. So being grateful and having gratitude, expressing gratitude, helps with the resilience. It helps you to continue on dealing with the being sick, but you have that emotional part where you're coping better with it. But it also gives you hope to know that you'll be able to get over it and to get past it. Gratitude also helps, when there's setbacks, when things don't always go the way you want them to. Gratitude can help kind of like bring you out of that funk that people talk about. So it's really wonderful. Another thing is our health is dependent upon our relationships with other people. The way we react to other people and the way other people react with us, it actually can affect your health. So by expressing gratitude to other people, it improves our relationships. It deepens the connection just by simply expressing gratitude. I heard a story recently of somebody who was having a really, really rough day, and somebody in the line at the store just stopped and said something to him, and it completely changed their outlook on their day, and it changed how they were feeling about themselves and how they were feeling about everybody else, simply because somebody and it was something simple. It was like, "That's a beautiful dress you have on," or "You look really nice today." It was just a simple compliment to the person standing in line in front of you, but it really changed that person for the better because somebody expressed gratitude for them. So gratitude it's not something that just is a fix-all, be-all. It's a helping hand. It's something that helps. If you're grateful, it doesn't mean that you're covering up or hiding or escaping from the problems that you have or the things that are going on in your life. Those still are there, and you can have both. You have to cope with life, but you can also be grateful for a lot of things that are going on around you. And, like some people say, gratitude is, it's only for the happy people, the people that are happy. But gratitude is kind of like a muscle. You have to work it to build it up. So like a lot of times when people say, I don't want to feel grateful right now, I don't want to be thankful for anything right now, that's like they always say that's the best time to do it, because you're pushing past that barrier in your mind and you are expressing gratitude. So let's talk about some common things, ways to express gratitude, some things you can put into your daily life. Like I'd mentioned earlier, the journaling at night. So just before you go to bed, I know Lynn, my wife, did it for a while. She basically just kept it in her notes app on her phone, and every day would put 3 things that she was grateful for. And there were some things going on in our lives and some other things, and she remembers that it was extremely helpful for her to get through it. At the time, we were living in Oregon, and having been in New Mexico for so long, when you don't see the sun, it's one day, and then you've got the sun again, and you see the sun. In Oregon, the sun kind of goes behind the clouds, and it's gone for 6 months at least. You might have a day here or a day there where the sun is shining, and that really had an effect on her. It really, really bothered her. And just the fact that she kept that gratitude journal, she just kept it in the notes app on her phone and just kept the notes, wrote down 3 things that she was grateful for. It really helped pull her through the gloominess and the being underneath the clouds that we were so not used to. So when you're doing a gratitude journal and you're writing down the 3 things at night before bed, you want to focus in on specific details. Don't be vague like, I'm thankful that we had a wonderful day today. Focus in, I'm thankful that I got to drive and see the beautiful leaves on the trees as they were cascading down. Like give a lot of detail and be specific. It really helps to open up you to seeing and looking for things to be grateful for, especially if you're doing it every day. You get to the point, you'll get to a point where you're like, okay, I was grateful for that yesterday. I don't want to be grateful for it today. So you start looking for more things, and it really opens you up to being grateful for many more things in your life and seeing more things to be grateful for. Another great way to have gratitude is to just stop and take a moment, whether, like I said, driving to work and you see the leaves on the trees, or the sunshine, or the beautiful weather, or whatever it is. Just take a moment, just a couple of minutes, and think about what is one thing right now that is supporting me, something that I can be grateful for. Take a moment to just do deep breaths. Think about whatever it is you're grateful for. And if you do that like once or twice a day, that will really make a big difference in your gratitude that you're experiencing. Another great one is to write a gratitude letter, whether it be to somebody in your house, or even if it's somebody you don't know, or a mentor of mine once said that to write a letter to the universe, or to your maker, or your higher power, whatever that may be, and just express gratitude. That it'll give you a connection to somebody, and if it's somebody that you're around, or a friend or something like that, just stopping and sending a text or a short call, just send a text. Hey, I'm really grateful for everything you do for me, or I'm grateful for the time you spent with me over the weekend, or something like that. It's just like that story of the woman standing in line. It lifts you up, but it also lifts up the person that you're expressing gratitude to. And it's really an uplifting thing, and it helps you and it helps them. And it's a great way to increase that gratitude muscle. Another great one is just a gratitude walk. If you have 10 minutes, when we talk about just about anything within health, I keep, I'm saying movement is really important, whether it's the skeletal system, your heart, your kidneys, getting your lymphatics moving, whatever it is. Go out for a 10-minute walk once a day. And while you're walking, just look for 10 to 15 things to be grateful for. Whether it's the sunshine, the leaves on the tree, the beautiful weather, your neighbor, whatever it is, find 10 things to be grateful for. And this is really great for people that have a hard time journaling or sitting down and writing out their thoughts. Just taking that 10-minute walk is really helpful for exercising that gratitude muscle and strengthening it and getting it to help you out. If you have a hard time expressing gratitude, sometimes it's really good to pair it with other things that you do automatically. For example, a lot of people pray before meals, and that's an opportunity to express gratitude, or just taking a quiet moment. If, like, first thing in the morning, you get up and you have a few minutes, take a quiet moment and express gratitude. That's a really great way to build that gratitude muscle. If you have a routine, first thing in the morning, or last thing in the evening, having that routine, add in expressing gratitude, and it will really help your mind look for those opportunities to express gratitude and build that gratitude muscle. So we talked a bit about how expressing gratitude can help with a lot of things: digestion, sleep, improves our hormones, the immunity of our body. So gratitude is definitely a part of being healthy, and looking for a healthy routine and having a healthy routine is expressing gratitude. It's really amazing. So I would encourage you to take some time, look through like some of the things we talked about, whether it's a gratitude journal, pausing to express gratitude, writing a letter of gratitude, going for a walk. Find one of those and just try it for a little bit. Try it for a week. See how you feel. Look and see how you're sleeping. Like, pay attention to how you feel emotionally, how your digestion is going. Does it change anything within your daily routine by just adding gratitude? And, from my experience, I know it will, and I would really encourage you to do that. It's been great having this time with you and to share this with you. I look forward to the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving for those in the United States. For those outside of the United States or Canada, your Thanksgiving was last month. But take some time to share gratitude with those that are around you, and I know that it'll make a big difference in your life.
You've been listening to the Reality of Herbal Therapy podcast with Jim Applegate. Visit drugfreehelpstore.com to download your free Healer in Every Home guidebook and explore herbal formulas that support your health naturally. Be sure to follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves natural living as much as you do. Thanks for joining us, and remember, true healing starts at home.
It is not the intent of professional herbal instruction or any persons associated therewith to diagnose or prescribe. The intent is only to offer herbal information for your consideration. In the event you use this information without your doctor's approval, you are prescribing for yourself, which is your God-given right. But professional herbal instruction or any persons associated herewith assume no responsibility. The claims and statements made on this podcast have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.